All right, good afternoon to you, and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Afternoon, Ghana. We meet again, but this time we're also focusing on other aspects of the Ghanaian population, and that's the youth. Now, when you look at, the current administration, they seem to be making an effort of doing something with the youth. You may want to ask questions because the youth seems to be suffering also a lot, these days. And so, what is the current administration doing? They will be, or they are, the future of our country. Do they have any hopes? And today, if you look around, especially on the sub-region, the African sub-region, the sub-region that we belong to, and what is happening across African countries, a lot of the advice has come about the fact that, well, we have to make sure that we are protecting the youth, we're giving them hope, we're giving them a reason to live, a reason why they don't have to backfire on us. Are we doing exactly what people are asking us for? So the party in office is the NPP. The producers have put together, an interview with a youth organizer of the party in government, the NPP, Salam Mustafa, for us to have a tete-a-tete with him. And he will open up a few things for us. If you have some questions, you can also send them to the contacts that will be displayed on the screen pretty shortly. So this is Good Afternoon, Ghana. My name is Ania Fompofu. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll introduce the guest. In the studio with Salam Mustafa, and he is a national youth organizer of the NPP. SM. Oh, I didn't expect you to say yes. Uh-huh.
Oh. I got a lot of messages. Yeah. Messages.
Oh, that you should say hi to me.
Yes.
You can't mention their names.
Oh, no, I won't mention names.
Oh.
Maybe off air I can
you will tell me.
Relay a lot of the messages I've gotten to say hi to you.
I'm very patient.
So I'm also very happy to come and see you and sit in your studio and sit by you.
Oh, but why are you talking on air as if you've not seen me before?
Oh, the messages I have gotten, to relate to you. So I'm just a conveyor belt, and I'm expressing the same messages that I've gotten to you.
I'm eager to know the message. But anyway, so it's about the youth, and it's about what the government in office is doing to revive your hopes, right? So I earlier mentioned something, and Salam got a little jittery. He was asking, what is happening on the West African? I mean, everybody knows what's happening, Salam. The youth really, on all... Okay, let me limit myself to West Africa. Okay, yes. So in West African countries, the sub-region is a little unsettled with the many things that's happening, especially within the Francophone, lineage. So everybody wants to make sure that we're safe, because whether we like it or not, it affects us, one way or the other, together in one region. So it really also has to do with the future of every country and the future of every youth. And going on social media, I read something, especially over this weekend. There are a few things I read. And one thing that struck me was every youth has a dream. People were, writing all those things, like they have a dream. So they put a picture of someone who is hungry and maybe by the roadside begging for alms, and then they write, this person also had dreams. You see, and then you are stuck on the picture and you're wondering what's going on in this person's head right now with the situation that they find themselves. And I also have followed you with something that you went into universities to do in terms of investing in the youth, right? That's why you captioned it.
Sure.
Let's start from that point. Investing in the youth. What's that all about?
Last week thereabout, we did a mentorship forum where the idea behind it is that if we say that the youth are the future leaders, the question that comes into mind is that what kind of leaders are you producing? Because it's not just enough to produce leaders. They must be good enough to lead their countries and make change. Mm-hmm. So we thought that as a youth wing, as young people, we should be able to raise very, very responsible leaders who would come and fill the space as the generations go. If you follow, the NPP is a very traditional party, has a very long, rich history. From way now memory lane independence period, even pre all the way to this time. So we have a very long, rich history that we feel it is important to begin to train young people who hold the mantle for the party and become responsible leaders when the time is due for them to take on the mantle of leadership. Because, like it or not, it is the training that we give people that shape and define them. So if we are to produce very responsible leaders, we have to be responsible for their upbringing. And that's why it's important that as a party, we teach them our values, our tradition, our principles, our ideology, so that they are patriotic enough in their belief and in their leadership to deliver to the Ghanaian people. And I am grateful that so many young people turned out on the day, in the thousands, to participate in the forum, and it went very, very well. As you rightly mentioned in your opening remarks, Ghana happens to be the only good boy in a very bad neighborhood. Very bad neighborhood. If you look at the West African sub-region, it's quite a turmoil one, and it's been so for a long period. So many countries have run into problems around us. If we are going to continue to enjoy the peaceful environment that we have, it is not going to be out of the vacuum. It is going to be the effort that we put in. And leadership is at the heart of it. That is why we keep investing in young people, trying to harness their energies, in the right direction, so that they are properly mentored to ensure that they become very good leaders for this country. And we will continue to do so. The very first one was a very big success. We are planning and working on how to go around the country, and especially our second one, to mobilize yet again another group of young people somewhere in the country. We intend to go around, so we will continue to engage young people who we believe that they would grow to become patriots for the party and for the government anytime we are in office. One thing I know for sure is that I've been in this enterprise for a very long time. I've been doing youth politics for quite a long time. The youth dominate our political space. So it's very, very critical that we continue to define these young people. You need to, imbibe in them, some spirit that makes them love their nation. The other countries
let me get this straight. Is it under the auspices of the NPP?
Oh yes, this is a full-fledged party program.
So how do you intend to achieve a national patriotism? Or no, patriotism
that one is without any prejudice. I mean, I am a full-blooded NPP person. And I am
you're
the
not
national
full-blooded NPP person.
full-blooded
No,
NPP
you are
person.
not full-blooded
I'm a
NPP
Ghanaian,
person.
and
you are full-blooded Ghanaian. Yes, but you're not full-blooded. I challenge you on that. No, I will not accept that description, even of you on this platform.
That is me. It is not for you to accept. It's my description. That's how I define myself. So it is not yours.
So this is how you were mentoring the youth?
No, that is not.
That they should be full-blooded NPP?
Of course. You need to be patriotic. You need to understand the value of what you are engaged in.
Okay, let me get this straight. The patriotism you're talking about, is it NPP patriots or...
It's not about being,
It was a nationalistic...
Of course, it's nationalistic. Any patriot loves dearly to the core whatever you are involved in. You love your party, you love your country. I love my nation, and on any day I'm ready to die for my country. but I'm leading a young, pack of people, and I want to see the same passion and zeal in them. We are in this together, and we'll keep working to ensure that the collective destiny of young people in this country is safeguarded, is secured under an NPP regime, and these young people are also thriving. So it cuts two ways. One thing I also do is to sell the NPP. It is the work I have to do. I'm the national youth organizer.
That would be
I
bonus.
have to sell the party to young people, to join. Just like the way I, got up to come and join the political movement. Yes, you have to get people to continue to hold the torch of the party, and we do so without discrimination, and without any prejudice.
Let's
It's open up to all young people.
the NPP to the nation Ghana. Give me 5 points that in mentoring the youth, especially in our universities, you were able to tell them that, being an NPP patriot, and I'm being specific so that you know that the patriotism I'm using is not the national patriotism, but the political patriotism. So being an NPP patriot, this is what you stand to achieve as a youth. This is the hope it will give you. This is what you can do. And this is what the country also can do for you if you actually joined the NPP. Because I know in this group of age brackets are quite liquid.
They are fluid.
They are very fluid. You are now trying to, groom them and tune their minds to political parties depending on where they want to be. So what are these 5 points that you can give me?
So, Annie, there's something that you need to understand. It's not about 5 points, what they stand to achieve or not. I'm happy that the NPP is also considering, in fact, we'll be launching our ideological school very, very soon. What we teach is leadership. And what, we give is a platform to rise. This is the biggest the political party does for you. So Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is president today because he ran on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. He didn't run as an independent candidate. We have members of parliament in today. Today, the Parliament of Ghana is divided in two, the NDC and NPP. The two parties offer a platform to rise to leadership. And that's why I said, if you listen to me very well, it now behoves on the party to imbibe in the young the values, what the party believes in. And that's how the values, your principles, your ideology, you understand,
what are these
your
values?
tradition. And of course, everybody knows that we are a center-right party. We are a property-owning democracy, we believe in the rule of law. All of these things we mentor our young to understand. So when you are being groomed in the party, these are things at your fingertips. That the NPP is a party of the rule of law. We are a center-right party. We believe in competitiveness and all that. So when you become a leader, and I'm happy that I can cite so many examples. Abu Jinapo, Director General NLA, Samir Wuku, these young people, Asenso Boachi, Charles Oredu, who is Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, so many of these, young budding people, talents who have gone through the mill and today are serving in leadership, have had the benefit of being nurtured in the party and understand the values, and principles of the party. And I can say without any shred of doubt, you cannot mention the best, stellar performing, if you like, ministers, appointees or so, without mentioning these people. I believe it is because of the background that they have that has given them, some edge to perform the way they are. And I'm saying that is why you must continue to engage young people. You just don't go out oh, we are a political party, come and join. You know, you don't just gather people like that. You must engage them. You must let them understand what is also expected of them. And that's why after that, we give you the platform. So all these names I've mentioned, today they have gotten to a certain pinnacle because the party has afforded them a platform, you know, to go up. And it will continue to do so. Once the party remains the vehicle that we continue to develop, we continue to invest in, the party will never go down. It will continue to be there for young people to come and time without number, assume leadership, go, and the party will still be there. Today, I am happy that I can say without any fear of contradiction that the number of people, since we opened our nominations for orphan constituencies, the number of young people who have filed far outweigh yes, you know, the number of old people. It tells you that it's a very youthful generation that is coming. Very, very, very youthful. And I'm happy and I'm excited about it that the young indeed are getting involved in the leadership of this country. And that's why it is important that they are not left on their own, but they are helped, you know, to navigate the political waters. And that's why it's also good that we add the ideological school as well. When we take you into the school, you know, all these things that I'm talking about, you are taking through. We let you understand what it takes to, you know, navigate your way in the murky waters of politics and how to mainstream. Yes, they
Were
ask
they given a
questions.
chance to speak to you,
Yes.
tell you what their problems were? What were you able to pick that got you worried as a youth
I
that's
don't
taking
think
over the country
there was
tomorrow?
anything to worry about. Of course, they would have questions as to some of the things they don't understand. For instance, when you are a student and you leave campus, having done your politics on campus, how do you mainstream? Because some after school are not able to mainstream very, very well. But that's why we'll take our time and also explain to you that the party is in the stratas across, you know, the length and breadth of the country. We have the polling station level, the electoral area, the constituency, region, national, you know, and I have seen young people now, if we are going to go into segmentation of the various positions, from TESCON, they have come to contest for positions in the last elections and they won. So clearly, they are finding their feet in mainstreaming with the party. They are a bona fide member of the structure. So mainstreaming, you know, shouldn't be a difficulty for them once they choose that we still want to.
But you didn't pick any
pursue.
information about how, and especially for them being in school, they will have issues about, well, we are in school, but you know, there's a problem with what we're studying, not meeting the job market. Even if you're an entrepreneur, the environment does not enable you to establish that. We say, oh, we create
we
a
did
enabling
that.
environment for you.
The
The youth
topics-
has always had problems, you know, in those areas where we should give them hope, but they come out of school and they are as equal to the ones who were in school.
The topics that we dealt with captures all of these things because it's not just one topic that was dealt with, quite a number of topics. You know, we pick communication, it can be entrepreneurship, someone will come and deliver, you know, how to, you know, be an entrepreneur, some of the opportunities available and all that, you know, and all of course, a lot of us are also living testimonies of how we have come from, you know, the rubbles to where we stand today, and we share these experiences with them so that they are
But you
able
stand today
to
here as a
see.
youth organizer of a political party. Maybe you have businesses on the side. It's not everybody that can be a youth organizer. And when we say we want youth to have hope for the future, it's not becoming the chairman, the secretary, the youth organizer, or whatever position politically, which it's been highly criticized that, oh, well, now the students, when they get out of school, all they want to do is to just go straight into mainstream politics, because that's where the money is. If you haven't heard that, I'm telling you.
Well, I maybe having understood it from the point of view that you are putting, but one thing that we have said time without number, maybe you should attend some of our programs. We have always maintained that don't follow politics because of the money. Like I said, it is a platform.
You've been saying
to
it
rise.
where have you been saying that?
I'm sure if
but
you
I've been
follow
attending
my,
your programs.
No,
I don't normally hear them.
No. I attend our, youth programs.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that
yes,
I can give you.
Yes,
I don't
and some
attend
of
your youth programs.
these constituency-based programs we attend,
So
not just press conferences.
So you tell them
that,
not to follow politics because of the money.
I'm saying, as part of the speech, you see, when we are running a program, we put together a lot of materials that we share. So, of course, we will not teach you that don't go and be productive, but right after school, come into politics because there's money and all. We tell you that it's a long road. And I've said it time without number. I have been doing NPP politics for...
Is there money in politics?
About 20 years or so.
Is there money in politics?
There's no enterprise that there's no money. There's no such enterprise that you will not find resources. Of course.
So there's money in politics.
There's resources available.
No, I'm being very specific. There's money in politics.
One thing you should understand, politics is a highly sacrificial job. It's a highly voluntary job.
Okay.
Very, very voluntary. But of course, if I'm going to travel from here to Zebila, I'll take car, I'll take transport and all that. But at the end of the day, the contributions, what we put in, is more sacrificial, it's more voluntary. So a lot of the people you see...
So why is it so attractive?
It is the passion that young people have, first and foremost, that bring them into politics. Because for students, for instance, when they go to school, they are going for the academics. The joining of political groups are all extra curriculum activities that they take on, which is also good because you just don't go to school and sit in the classrooms alone. There are other things that you learn across. So they engage in the extra curriculum, curricular activities, and at the end of the day, add all together. So by the time you're coming out of school, you have learned so many, many things. One of the things I promised myself when I was leaving the university was never to write an application job. And I've never done so.
Really?
Yes, I have never written an application letter looking for a job.
Is that an encouragement to the youth, or what exactly are you?
That is my spirit. That's what I told myself.
So how should that communicate to a coming up student who's about finishing school?
I also say that.
Does that mean, oh, well, you can be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, you don't write applications.
Yes.
Or you can be a politician. And politicians, you don't write applications.
Well, I also say that it's always good to have a plan. It's always good to know what you are capable of doing. I am also one of the people who advise people to have a career. You get the point. So it's not just pushing young people into politics. It's good. Politics is good.
So what's your career?
But you have to understand that, look for something that supports you. What's your career? And what makes you comfortable enough.
I want to know what your career is. But you're encouraging people to make sure they have a career. Yes. Politics is like a side. I mean, if I had a choice or a chance, I probably would advise that when I see the work being put in, as far as politics is concerned, I would rather we capture politics as also a profession. You really need to learn a lot about politics, the sacrifices that goes into it. I was speaking about members of parliament to someone, and I said members of parliament really struggle. And that's why sometimes you hear them engaged or involved in a lot of scandals. Because the pressure we put on them is not easy. If you look at what they earn and what you demand from them, Sometimes it has to come from their pockets. So they're tempted to do things to balance the books. However, if you say that people should have a career or a profession, what is yours? You are a politician. But what's your profession?
Oh, so you said politics is
is
a career. Yeah, so,
yeah,
of course,
if I have my way,
I'm a full-fledged politician, but of course, anybody who knows me will tell you I have a very big rice farm.
So you're a farmer?
Well, yeah.
Are you a farmer?
I am.
You're a farmer. You don't believe in yourself?
It's not that I don't believe in myself. I do. Every year, I do. Close to about 100 acres.
100 acres of rice farm?
Yes. Senior Hossi bought me a tractor last 2-3 years or so.
So what's the name of your rice?
We do the normal Ghana rice.
Okay.
Yes.
But you bag them, or you supply them to those who want to?
Oh yes. By the time you finish, usually there's an off-taker. So how these things work? If you have a warehouse, you can take your paddy to. Otherwise, if you are connected to any of the millers, then you supply directly to the millers. So
guess what? Someone just texted me that he's a rice farmer.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Gabriela, Tete.
Oh, okay.
She texted.
Yes. I have a very big farm.
Okay. So you're a farmer, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that why you're encouraging youth so that they have to, have a side? But how are you combining the two?
Oh, it's okay. I have people,
work for you.
take care of it. Whilst I run around also doing my youth politics. So it checks out. But at the end of the day, like I said, survival is key. Having a plan is important. Most often than not, I've seen young people come into politics and they get disappointed because if you are looking for money, you would realize that the money is not coming as you think. So you would get disappointed. That's why it's always good that you are able to sustain yourself within the space. Also, if you take our forebirds who, made this party what it is, and even in the entire politics that has come to our, state today. The likes of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he was a lawyer. The many people who started this party in 1992 when it was the Dankwa Busia Club, were people in different, professions.
The CPP member first.
Who? Nana, he has never been CPP. Check his background.
You
never.
Should go and check.
No, never.
You should check.
No, never.
Go ahead.
Never.
Go ahead.
Never been.
You go ahead.
Never been.
It's not a debate today.
Yes.
So go ahead.
The Hackman, also Ajimans and co. So you see that they came from a certain background, Apia Minka and the rest, even all the way to JB Dankwa and co, who started the very first political party. These were stalwarts who were within their own right. So politics has, its side. So we try to put all of these issues to the young people as well. And, I know a lot of people who are also working and still, dabble in politics, because it's something they like. It's something they have passion for. At a point, by the time you realize they are, talking to you, oh, I want to go for parliament, I want to run for this, I want to do that. And we encourage them to do so. That's why I said, if you look at the number of young people who recently filed, to contest for parliament on the ticket of NPP, quite amazing.
Let me bring you to some disturbing development of the youth today. We are in the age where social media is obviously very loud on a lot of things. There's one time I remember Randy Abe said something on the show. He said, when they were kids, what they did during their time was captured on social media, they probably wouldn't have gotten the chance to become what they have become today. So the absence of social media did them a lot of good, I think. Now, yesterday I saw a video of, 3 days ago, of some young, very young students who had access to J.B. Dankwa's statue, the head. And I'm sure you've seen the video
I've
because
seen
it's
the
gone
video.
really, really viral.
I've seen it.
And I was a little, disturbed. But I'm not sure how you felt about it. I'm sure you probably will feel bad. And quite a number of youth that's gone haywire as far as this government is concerned. We've seen in the past videos of some of the students attacking directly His Excellency the President because he brought past questions for them and they couldn't answer during the exams and all that, and therefore later they were even made to apologize for using some unprintable words on His Excellency. How does that make you see the youth of today? Is it the same as maybe your time, or it's just that we have grown worse? And what do you think of it?
Well, the advent of social media has changed quite a lot how things are. You don't need rocket science to know that. Since the advent of social media, how we do things have changed. Because the listing you do is on social media. People take their smartphones and record them and put it out. By the time you realize it is trending. Yeah. Social media has had its good side. But of course, everything that has good, has a bad side. So we would see some of these excesses that comes with social media. It's disheartening to see. I have watched the video and all the other videos that have come into circulation. What I want to say, and I usually say, is that the internet is a very powerful tool, and the most users are young people. The way we use social media, it's probably, what would also define us. I remember an interview I watched of President Obama, interviewed by, I think, an 8-year-old boy, and he asked Obama, who was president then, that, Mr. President, if somebody wants to become president, what should
that little black boy?
Yes. Then the response was that, watch what you write on social media. So it tells you that I say that the internet never forgets. Whatever you write, leaves a trail, a very long one. So sometimes some of these young ones also are quite unaware of the repercussions of some of the things they do. So if you watch most of the videos and who later come back to apologize, they'll say, oh, we didn't know that it will go that far. We didn't know that, people will get that offended. They were doing it in the spur of the moment. Because if you watch,
which is okay, which yes, is okay and natural with young people,
you would see that some amount of peer influence,
youthful exuberance
was playing, because one person did something and the rest also followed up and continued in the fashion. So it will continue to be with us, unfortunately. It will not stop.
But do you not think that will mean, and from the beginning, I'm bringing this in because you said something in the beginning, you've gone into schools, to train young ones coming up, nurture their minds to align with the political ideologies and all. But sometimes the way as leadership we connect to the youth is wrong. You do it in such a way that you give them direct link to you. So when anything goes wrong, there were times where students were writing mock exams, and you find some of the mock questions papers with Nanado's pictures on it, with ministers' pictures on it, with MPs' pictures on it, and I'm wondering, what's the fuss about that? Why would you want to do that? What's the benefit?
I'm not sure that is the
and then you have
the link and the source of the problem. Globalization is taking deep roots, and we are entering into the era of robotics, artificial intelligence. These things will deepen because these tools are ever changing.
No. I'm just saying that if, for example, you bought past questions for students, and the past questions, there was no association to the president. Or that the president, because he wants you to pass, he's bought you past questions, right? And it was just made that the school itself has provided past questions to students, and they wrote and they failed, or they couldn't answer the questions. Do you think that they would have come directly to the president?
The video that some student, I think 2 years ago, after writing a paper, attacked the school because they said the exams was too hard. I'm sure you saw that. So there was no direct link to anybody.
Exactly, that's the
they
point
just
I'm
felt
making.
that, and in fact, some of them said that they were not allowed to copy, so they got angry, they got furious with their teachers. So I'm telling you that what you're saying, it's not the direct link, okay? It has to do with a lot. Globalization.
Yes,
some
but
of the
sometimes
things
it's not necessary.
that we are being exposed to, the ever-changing socioeconomic culture. Today, those days that society raised children is no more there. So it's multifaceted. It's not linked to just one source. And I've said that this is not going to change. It is not. It's rather going to deepen. We have to find other control measures, systems. If we are going to look at our sociocultural environment again, which I think needs a look at, because the way we were brought up much earlier, you know, where your auntie can have control over you, it's no more there now. You know, there's no corporal punishment in school, and so on and so forth. So the environment is so different. It's so different now. Those days we're going to school, we're giving mental. 2 times 2. If you don't, by the time, if your assets,
which yielded good results.
You know, well, we outlawed that. We said it was brutish.
Why?
You know.
Why?
Yeah, but that's how come corporal punishment was taken out from schools. That teachers cannot.
Because there were global pressures, and we decided to accept it as
the
Ghana.
point I was making.
You're bringing gay, you who say you don't want, but you accepted everything else.
So it's time to reawaken ourselves.
Are you ignoring what I just said?
Of course, we will not accept that.
Okay,
That's one we will not accept.
I'm taking a breather.
We will not
I'll be back
accept that
shortly
one,
and finish up with. All right, you're welcome back to the program. It's Good Afternoon, Ghana. I'm still in the studio with Salam Mustafa, aka SM. He is the national youth organizer of the party. Let's wrap up with the NPP. I mean, let's wrap up with the youth, and then you can give us what's happening with the primaries, where we are now. So basically, I want to know, if you look at the youth today, is there a difficulty in trying to, carve them in on a certain path and make sure that we're having a good future, or people we're handing over to? There's been issues, I don't want to go there, that would be too long, but there's been issues of Ghana borrowing so much and we're leaving a huge debt for them. And that's for the future, because if you calculate how much we have to pay and when our debt instruments will be maturing, obviously it's going to be a next generation that's going to be suffering from our. So are we giving them any hope at all? Your mic is off.
Yes, this country is full of hope for young people. Young people will lead it. And if I can even prophesy, so to speak, young people would deliver it to the promised land. Borrowing and so on and so forth, we have been borrowing since time immemorial. So as far as nationhood states, we will continue to be, in that state. No country has ever stopped borrowing, not even America and the UK. So
it's a U-turn comments of the NPP.
Yeah, but for the youth, we will keep, rising to the occasion. And I'm happy that we have one of the most resilient young following in this country, and especially the NPP. And I say it every single time I have the opportunity, that for me, what keeps my fire burning is the smart people that I'm leading. Very, very articulate, bold, strong. They speak their mind, fearless. So when you are leading such people, you have very little room to sleep on the job. You are always, up to task, because.
So, do you think that this government has
they will
made
push you?
Ghana's youth proud today?
Of course.
Have you made us proud?
The youth of this country, I say this, are amongst the strongest anytime, anywhere in the world.
But the question is, have you made us proud?
Of course, if you look at the pro-youth policies that this government has put in place, you cannot take it away from. And even the youth involvement, engagement in this government.
What policies specifically?
No government, I'm sure, virtually has had such level of youthful involvement in governance like this government. And of course,
what are you talking about?
The presence of young people, high quality young people performing, and I've mentioned names already here, is a testament that young people contribute significantly to nation building. In terms of policies, this government has tried heavily to, implement pro-youth policies, with the hindsight that the country is dominated by young people. If you take our national population, 71% are youthful. If you take the voters' population, 63% are youthful, between 18 to 40. So young people in this country continue to be the bile of the nation. And I am happy that at this material moment, I am part of the system that is trying to ensure that we continue with the mantle of leadership. Myself and my contemporaries around have the honor of leading this country, and we have to do so. We have our own challenges, we have our own problems.
With the population you just mentioned, I said I was going to ask you about the party, but with the population of youth you just mentioned, and when we have a report, the World Bank report telling us that inflation has pushed about 850,000 people further into poverty. The number of youth, you can calculate the number of youth that is likely to have been affected.
That, we admit, and I keep saying that we have to keep working to get out of the current, difficult state in which we are. We have all admitted that we are in crisis, we are in difficulties. This is an established fact, but nobody is sleeping. We're also working very hard to get out of it. And so, other countries across the globe, our neighbors, across the Atlantic and all that, everywhere, the global economy itself.
Everywhere inflation is not 43% or 52% or 42%.
The global inflation itself has gone up. Of course, we don't run homogeneous economies across the world, so how we react to variables will be different.
Really?
So, yes.
Okay.
This is basic economics. Okay. It's very basic economics. But I keep saying that.
No, but I like the point you're making.
We have to work to ensure that, every country is doing, to recover fast and quick. Because, admittedly, those who are hardest hit are young people. And that's why I keep saying I am passionate about it. And anytime I engage leadership at the highest level, I said, these are the difficulties young people are going through. It is biting. And that's why we need to quicken our pace to ensuring that we deliver, our country and motherland, from the current crisis that we are having. So I believe that young people have a big role to play.
We have just about 2 minutes to go.
The progress of this country.
Just take us through where we've gotten to with primaries. What exactly is happening now?
We have, in terms of presidential primaries?
Presidential and members of parliament as well. I
think now for the presidential primaries, all we are waiting for is for the 26th. All preparations, are far, ahead, because we have open nominations closed. Voting has been done, balloting, all of them know their position. So now we are left with the D-Day, where we will go and prune the number to 5, and now wait for November 4th that we will do the delegates conference itself, which delegates are about almost 250,000, around 240 8,000 thereabout people to come and cast their vote. With the parliamentary, we have closed nominations for orphan constituencies. So that happened on the 10th, last Thursday.
Okay.
And so far, some few places you can tell that they are unopposed. So those ones are not challenges at all. I'm sure quickly after vetting, their acclamations would be done for them. Then at national, if you look at the regulations that we brought out, we say that we are going to handle the election of parliamentary candidates case by case. We understand that parliamentary elections have a consequential effect on the presidential. So we are taking our time to really manage the parliamentary process very well, because we are mindful that it will have an overall effect on the presidential vote. So you need to get the right kind of candidates who will get you the right kind of results. So we are taking our time to manage that. So after the acclamations, we will look at how the other constituencies are and work on them. And as I when
you say work on them, what exactly are you going to be doing?
Like we said, case by case.
Okay.
We will have, discussions on how some of the constituencies look like. Also, I mean, some of them you may not need the rigorous primaries, people going after each other and all that. You can find a way to engage and all that. Like I said, a lot would have to be taken into account as to who leads the constituency, discussions with the constituency people, what the data is saying, who is popular on the ground and all that. So it's a whole lot of work to be done, and we are poised to getting that done before we open nominations for the sitting MPs sometime December, and have elections for the sitting MPs sometime February next year. So this is how the elections look like before we go into the 2024 election.
It doesn't seem too late.
No.
For you, putting a lot of pressure.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. We took our time to develop the timelines, so we are not under pressure. It works for us, and so far it has not proven to be counterproductive. Rather, we are learning quite a lot from the approach that we have taken, and almost all involved to are satisfied that we are open, with the process. And as a national party, we will not sit anywhere and impose candidates on the ground. Okay. We will allow the popular candidates to emerge with the benefit of hindsight, that if you do anything contrary to what the ground are looking for, the consequences can be dire. That is not the kind of front we want to present in 2024. We want to present a very united front, both parliamentary and presidential.
Is it okay for any national executive to declare support for any of the candidates by your constitution?
No. It is not.
The constitution is against it.
The constitution, yes, doesn't allow us to. We are referees. We are the umpires of what is going on. So as the umpires, you are not to show open bias. Okay. But we are also guaranteed our votes, though.
Thank you for coming through. Salam Mustafa is the National Youth Organizer for the NPP. Thank you for your time this afternoon. All right. This has been Good Afternoon, Ghana. My name is Ania Frampov. We'll follow through with the NPP on the primaries and its activities, and we'll bring you all the updates here on your Election Central Metro TV. My name is Annie. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.